It's the Moors Inquisition, blessed to be in position to make millions on. This video is about how the CIA helped drug traffickers bring drugs to America. Then America had war on drugs against its own people after using drug money to fund the war in South America. Man, check your boy out.
Doesn't actually begin on the streets of LA or Miami. It begins in the jungles of Central America. In 1979, the dictatorial government of Nicaragua was overthrown by socialist revolutionaries called the Sandinistas. In response, right-wing groups known as the Contras began a brutal paramilitary campaign, receiving money and weapons from the CIA as part of the Cold War struggle against the Soviet Union.
If we cut off the freedom fighters, we will be giving the Soviets a free hand in Central America, handing them one of their greatest foreign policy victories since World War II.
But in 1982, Democrats in Congress passed laws to cut off support for the Nicaraguan rebels. So the Contras and their CIA backers had to find new ways of funding their struggle. What they found was cocaine. By the late 1970s, more people in the US were snorting coke than ever before. Most of it imported from Colombia. In the early 80s, smokable cocaine, or crack, exploded across American cities. This proved to be a gold mine for countless organized crime groups, even those backed by the CIA.
Even backed by the CIA, now I'm gonna need to see some paperwork on that. Here's evidence that the NSC staff supported using drug money to fund the Contras. This is NSC paper shows deep network to the Contras in '85. This is documentation of official U.S. knowledge of drug trafficking in the Contras. Man, if I wasn't tripping, it looked like indictment papers. Man, somebody tell me something else about this here.
And in 1985, reporters Robert Parry and Brian Barger broke an almost unbelievable story. They claimed Nicaraguan rebels were involved in cocaine trafficking, and that not only did the CIA know about these activities, they allowed them to continue in order to help fund the Contras' war effort.
When Bob Perry and Brian Barger got a hold of a CIA report revealing that they were working in the mid-1980s with Contras fighting the Sandinista government, they were warned by their editors that this was not something that was going to make the people that own their newspapers very happy, and both of them ended up losing their jobs.
Let me find out that everybody was dying with this drug thing.
1996, when a reporter with the San Jose Mercury News named Gary Webb picked up the story from a new angle. Webb investigated the case of Freeway Rick Ross, who in the early 1980s was the most important kingpin in LA's crack scene, and probably America's first ever crack millionaire.
Gary Webb, man, somebody tell me a little bit more about this guy. This is the main man, Gary Webb, born August 31st, 1955 in Corona, California. Died December 10th, 2004, of suicide. Yeah, right. He began his career working for the newspapers in Kentucky and Ohio, winning numerous awards and building a strong reputation for investigative writing. Hired by the San Jose Mercury News, Will contributed to the paper's Pulitzer Prize-winning coverage of the Loma Prieta earthquake. Webb is best known for his Darker Line series, which appeared in the Mercury News in 1996. The series examined the origins of the crack cocaine trade in Los Angeles that claimed the members of the anti-communist Contra rebels in Nicaragua who had played a major role in creating the trade. They even made a movie about Gary Webb called Kill the Mystery in 2014, which is based on his book, Darker Lines. Kind of impressive person, man. To be mentioned with Rick Ross, huh?
My name's Gary Webb. I am an investigative journalist. I've been an investigative journalist for about 25 years for daily newspapers. And in 1996, I wrote a series of stories entitled Dark Alliance, which was about CIA involvement in drug trafficking.
How you doing, Gary, man? Tell me a little bit more.
My story showed was that the cocaine that was being sold in those neighborhoods was coming from mainly one source. And this one source was being used to finance a guerrilla war in Central America.
Hold on, man. Y'all seen that end part? Run that back right quick. 1987, the Kerry Committee hearing exposed the CIA drugs for arms operation established to fund the right-wing Nicaraguan Contra rebels. Oh, so you boys had drugs and guns thing going. That get you fed time in the United States. They were trying to do anything to stop Russia. Between 1981 and 1986, senior administration officials secretly facilitated the illegal sale of arms to Iran. Let me find out y'all ball with worldwide hidden licks. Man, let me see something else.
In 1998, the CIA's own Inspector General released a report essentially admitting that many elements of the Dark Alliance story were true, that the agency had known that people linked with the Contras were importing cocaine, had done nothing to stop them, and had even protected them from investigation.
So you had the CIA finally coming to the table and admitting that what we reported in the 80s and what Webb reported in the 90s was in fact true.
Hold on, man. That ain't cool. Because a lot of people in the United States of America in jail over the same thing that they trying to fund in South America. Real talk.
Tens of thousands of dollars, which had been seized, be returned to the drug traffickers.
The CIA admitted that they knew that these guys were selling drugs and had went to the Attorney General and asked the Attorney General could they not report it because the mission that they were trying to accomplish was so big. It was a matter of U.S. What do they call it?
National security?
National security.
So wait, the CIA was allowing this just kind of to happen, the drugs to go in, and they weren't putting it there, but they were allowing it to happen and funneling the money.
That's what we believe.
No, it ain't nothing that hiding in, man. You in that car. You know, you're accessory to a crime, man. You need to do your time like the rest of us have to do. But say, man, we finna get on up out of here on that. Tell me what you think. It's the Morris Inquisition. Blessed to be in position to make millions on